All right, let's try again. I had done a recording, but unfortunately I hadn't put the receiver on. Or this is the no, that's the receiver. That one there, isn't it? That's the receiver. This is the sending thing, whatever it's called. So I hadn't switched that one on. So I was chatting away for a couple of minutes, and then I thought, well, I better just check the levels of the sound, because I do keep quite a close eye on sound levels. But maybe not so much the levels, just to make sure the little lines are going across. I'm not that bothered about where the lines are. I'm not that professional. Mainly just to make sure the lines are there in the first place. So of course I looked and the lines weren't there, and I thought, bugger, I've been recording for a couple of minutes and I hadn't turned that one on. Never mind. It doesn't happen very often because I keep quite a close eye on it, so it's quite rare. All right, look, it's just gone 9:30. My Fenix, Garmin Fenix 6X has died completely. I can't remember if I mentioned yesterday, but it I know I did say something about it yesterday, that it went from 60% down to 5% in the blink of an eye, really. It was either overnight or something. I don't know what happened, but it lost a significant amount of power very, very quickly. I put it into like emergency mode where it just tells the time and nothing else. And that's supposed to last like a day or two at least, and then that packed up last night. So I will carry a charging cable for it from now on. I didn't bring one because you shouldn't need it. It should go. If you're using the GPS, as I did last year in August, and I was using the GPS for 3 days on the trot, pretty much on and off all day long, plus just general use of the watch. And when I got home, you know, for like the 4th day in the evening, I still had, from memory, quarter left or something like that. It was still, you know, a good amount left. So I don't know what's happened this time, whether it's a bit of a fault or what. So I do need to look into that. And one thing I did notice is that the last two not exercises, I think they call them exercises. The last 2 exercises that I did were basically sort of set the GPS on, go for your walk or your run or something, and then you come back, or you know, you finish your exercise, you stop it, you save it. With the last 2 that I did that, it says failed to save. I think it did send them to my phone, interestingly, but it did fail to save them. So I do wonder whether there's a little hiccup in there. So okay, well, I've got the luckily, whilst that watch isn't working, I've got my Rolex Submariner, the green discontinued Hulk Submariner on me. So that won't run out of power. As long as you keep moving your wrist. No filthy comments. As long as you keep moving your wrist, then it will perpetually keep telling the time. And of course, there's no chance of it getting out of its depth being a Submariner, because we've not had any rain. So it's definitely not going to get overwhelmed by moisture or anything like that. Mind you, I'll be so lucky to get as overwhelmed as moisture. Anyway, that's a different subject. Back to anyway, it's tea time. Oh, I need to put a sweetener in there. Okay, one of my bad habits is I do like sweeteners. I like sweeteners at home. They're just handy, less fattening than sugar. I was getting a bit too fat. I was drinking too much tea. And I think, because I was having sugar and not doing the exercise that I was. And I think I was putting weight on. So I cut the sugar out and then use sweeteners. one deadly thing to another, probably. Okay, well, little Lassie is, there's some Lassie footage for you. Tiny little tripod that I have the GoPro on is quite handy. The only downside to it is it's very small. You can't tilt the head at all. The head is fixed. You can swing it backwards and forwards, but you can't tilt it. You can't tilt the head. You can tilt it backwards, swing it backwards and forwards, but you can't move it left and right like that. So if the ground is uneven, it's just going to fall over, as it did just then when Lassie knocked it. And you can't level it up, although having it on this setting that I've got it on here is auto level, but you can only do auto level on this magnification. It won't auto level on any of the other settings. So moving forward, whether this handhold tripod-y thing is the answer, I don't know. But then I've got the bigger tripod, which I can use when I'm not using it for other things. So probably this is probably fine. We'll see moving forward. I don't know if anybody is using the iPhone 12 Max or even a Samsung for video. I've heard they're quite good for video. I've never really used my phone for video, but my phone being being a Samsung, I just think it's gonna be a bit of a bugger, because it's not the easiest things to get pictures from Samsung over to my Apple Mac computer. So it's crossing my mind whether just as a backup camera, which I don't really need anyway, is maybe to get an iPhone 12 Max, or maybe wait until they bring out a new one in the winter, which they probably will do, and maybe just use that for a bit of filming occasionally, more for backup, and just pictures and things like that might be easier to get to the computer. I'm not quite sure. We will, I've deliberately moved my body well and truly off the mat, because the one thing I'm very aware of is I don't want Lassie puncturing my airbed. I'm in the stove as well. Oh, she does get a bit excited. Oh, she does get a bit excitable, doesn't she? Let's see. Oh, lass. Oh, all right. All right, go back. I got the airbed behind me as well, Lassie. Come on, go back. Come on. Good girl. You doing this for our New Zealand friend, are you? Are you showing off for our friend in New Zealand? Is that what this is all about? It's got nothing to do with me, has it? You don't like me at all. You're just showing off to New Zealand, aren't you? Because they haven't got any viruses down there. You're showing off, saying, look, we can get all close and cuddly here because we haven't got viruses too. All right, go, move over. Come on. All right, well, I made a tea, so I'm going to have my I made a tea, so I'm going to have my tea. I showed you around here last night, so nothing really has changed. I do have, Lassie, go back a minute. I've got one power point, one spot left on here. So I'm just going to try and get some power into this camera here, just on the off chance that I want to use that camera today. And I did cheat on one thing, I will admit, because I knew I had all these extra cameras and things. I did bring this very old Anker power pack with me. Now, I didn't want to use this directly because I'm never ever actually normally going to bring this. But what I did do, I charged up this power pack here, which is the first one that I emptied. And bizarrely, I think, and you might know as well, but when you use a power pack, it's like eating itself when it's charging something up. So this is a 13,000, I mean, it's quite old now as well, but this is a 13,000 milliamp hours power pack. And I'm pretty sure it was full. I'm sure I did charge it right to top. And this is a 10,000, and that 13,000 only did 3/4 of this 10,000. And this one's already down to 2, and I've only been charging up the tablet for half an hour or so. But really, I just wanted to see, with a bit more power in this one, what it would do, like, because I'm not in any immediate rush today. I'm going home today, unfortunately. But I am heading back home later today. So, but I'm planning on staying a little bit longer today maybe. So I might do another video, sub video here. So I've got a few minutes. So I can try and get, I've got 80% left on here. The Sony ran out completely. I don't have a spare battery for Sony. I've got a spare battery for this, which I've put in here, so I haven't bothered charging the old battery up. This is a spare battery in here. I don't have a spare battery for the Sony, and given that I haven't decided what I'm doing with the Sony yet, whether I keep the Sony and just carry on using that, or I do like the idea of the idea where you can put an object in front and the camera just snaps focus on that, which I haven't got on this. So I do like the idea of the Sony A6400, which does that. Or if they bring out a 6700, that would also have it. And I could be tempted by upgrading at some point in the future. Or smaller, lighter would be the ZV-2 if they bring out a ZV-2. So I'm not quite sure what to do on that at the moment. So for now, there's no point in spending any money on another battery until I know what I'm doing. But I do notice with the Sony that it's not snapping focus. If I put something in front of it, it still stays focused on my face in the background rather than realizing there's something in front of the camera. Maybe there's a setting inside that I just don't know about that would help that. Right, okay, well I've made a tea, so I'm going to have a tea and then I'm going to get cracking with doing nothing else for a bit. Okay, well it's 1:15 in the afternoon. I've done quite a lot of packing. I'm probably going to get going sometime in the next hour or so. I'm not planning on getting back too early, so I'm sort of just chilling out. I made another video on clothing, what clothing you really need for camping. I won't do a packing video this time. Because I've done like quite a few videos this trip, so I'll maybe do another packing video another time if I haven't done so many things, or if I don't have ideas. But I have testing, but I have you know, packed up everything here, so clothes and bits and bobs in there, night stuff and bits and bobs in there, a little bit of food that I didn't eat, which is very little, empty fuel bottles, and a few other bits and bobs in there,
That I'll put in Lassie's bag. It's just that spare power pack. Lassie can carry that. Give Lassie something to carry. My down jacket, which I wore at night. Keys, pen knife. Basically the reason why it's there is it fell out of these stupid pockets on these trousers. Nice trousers, but geez, you need to put zips on Montane, you know. What kind of a pocket? You know, there's no depth to it, look. You know, it's stupid. That's another stuff sack with some camera stuff and some bits and bobs in. That's my power packs all in there. Glasses, which I need to make sure I have with me these days. Normally, of course, I don't normally bring so many watches with me, but I did do a video on watches this trip, so I brought my watches this trip, but normally they're in the bank vault. And then obviously my bum bag thing there, my wallet, which also fell out with these stupid trousers, and waterproofs, which will just go separately, and my pillow there, which I haven't put away yet. Lassie's stuff is mostly put away, which is very little in her pack now, which is why I'll give her something else to carry. I just got to get the inflatable airbed down, and I probably will. And obviously this corner here, I just need to tidy up here, but it looks a lot worse than it really is, to be honest. My waist bag is here. Obviously, you know, practice, leave no trace, take every single thing out with you. I had the Kestrel weather station, but the weather was not so exciting to report on. And then my tea stuff and everything, you know, down there. So I'll just show you outside. It's so dry that I can walk around. I've done a lot of walking around barefoot around camp, but even just wearing socks, it's dry underfoot, which has been nice. I've not had any rain the entire trip. So I'll just show you the good old Supermid. It's a fabulous shelter for making videos. You know, it's just you know, a perfect shelter for pretty much every occasion. It's almost certainly one of my favorites, and one of the reasons why I brought it this time, apart from, you know, making videos and the sheer size of my big erection, is I did have a feeling that the wind would change, and it has. It's done a complete 180, and it is blowing into the door, but it doesn't matter. I'm packing up now, so it doesn't matter. But I was thinking if I had a tarp or something like that, and I was planning on staying in one place, I didn't really want the wind blowing in the door, and then I couldn't really be asked to change, you know, change configuration really. And if it did rain, and the rain did a 180, or the wind did a 180 and it rained, then it would have been just a simple job of just doing the door up. So it was partly convenience, partly laziness as well. I just like the Supermid, you know. I guess if I had to keep only one shelter, it would either be the Trailstar or the Supermid. Probably the Trailstar. I think the Trailstar is the one that I would keep if I had to limit it down to just one. But the Supermid is a very, very close second. But that's not to say that I I don't like my Grace Duo tarp as well. I'll be using that quite a bit. And then I'll try and get out. My plan is a minimum of once a month from now on, which I was doing before lockdown. And then I'll try, hopefully, and like I said, get out at least once a month, the 3 nights as always, and then just do different videos in this area and get some walking in as well. And we'll just kind of see how the summer goes, really. But if you've got any questions, comments, or anything like that, then put a comment down below. I'm also going to, when I have finally packed up, I'm going to do one, if I remember, one sub video on how to roll up to carry Cuban fibre. So you don't fold it or anything like that. I'll show you how I prepare my Cuban fibre shelters for packing into the pack before going, but I'll do a separate video on that, so check that out as well. Okay, well, I'm gonna duck back inside, I think, for a little bit. It's nearly 1:30. I had one comment from someone saying I'm probably the only wild camper that camps with a Rolex watch, so probably. Okay, well, it's definitely, the wind has definitely picked up over the last, well, quite a short time actually. It really has picked up a lot. I might even put the weather station up and just see what the weather is, or how fast that wind. It's not exactly blowing a gale, but it's definitely picked up from what it has been. Okay, well, it was getting so windy outside that I was saying the wind was blowing in the door, and it kind of got me thinking that as I wasn't exactly packing away at that exact moment, that I probably ought to just do the door up, because I didn't want to put extra pressure on the door and the seams and zips and things like that. Not that the zip was under any pressure because it was opened up, but I thought, you know, just for, you know, convenience and safety wise, I'd just do the just do the door up. You can still get in and out even the door up when it's that low. You can actually crawl out. You can crawl out under that door, and you can crawl back in again. Only I will add, when it's bone dry like this, and I wouldn't recommend it. You get a lot of grass on yourself, but you know, it can be done. I just did it. All right. Well, I'm basically going to slowly sort of pack up everything from inside in here. I've just made a tea, which hopefully you can see just there. So I'm basically going to have that tea. I think. And then I'm going to get this finish off Ant-Man, which I'm watching Arvel Ant-Man. And then I'm going to get the pack over here, undo or let the air bed down, and then slowly start to pack things away. It's coming up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll probably aim to leave here sometime about 3 o'clock, just after 3. Get back to the car about 4. Take my time getting home, 5, 6. I've got some time spare. I said I wouldn't be back until 7 or 8, so I've still got some time to spare and chill out and relax here, which was my plan for these trips, is just to make them as relaxing and calm and comfortable as I possibly can. If I don't do any more video on here, because like I said, I'll do a packing video and everything else like that, apart from putting away the Cuban shelter, which I'll do as a separate video. If I don't do any more, I'll try and shut up now, because my videos are far too long. I'll see you in the next video. Sometime in May we'll be back out again, doing some nonsense or other. So I look forward to seeing you in May. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you again.